Okay, we are going to start our second session of the afternoon for those of you who are joining us now. My name is Reggie Alexander. I am a consultant psychiatrist, and more relevant to this forum, I edit the Village Voice. It's a great privilege to have our next speaker. Professor Wendy is the president of the Royal College of Psychiatrists. More importantly, perhaps, she has been a practicing psychiatrist in psychiatry of the elderly for the past several years. Not only is she a practicing clinician...
About 35, I think.
Really careful there, Wendy. So, not only has she been a practicing clinician, she has been at the forefront of translating clinical wisdom into policy decisions in the area. And one of the privileges as the editor of the Village Voice is receiving a large number of letters from the readership about questions of healthcare. And if there is one topic that predominates those letters regarding health, it's this question that varies about dementia. So it's a great pleasure to have you here, Wendy.
Thank you, Reggie, for that introduction. And thank you for inviting me. So, Reggie said this was to be informal kind of questions and answers. So I'm just going to whip through, I'll talk for probably less than 10 minutes. Just talk you through some things about dementia, and then I'll take questions for the rest of the time. I think we've got about half an hour. So I'll talk you through what are the symptoms of dementia, how common is it, what different types are there, how is it diagnosed, is there any medical treatment, are there any other treatments, what are the benefits of having a diagnosis, a bit about driving, because I get asked a lot about driving, what help is there for carers, and what might the future hold if you get a diagnosis of dementia. So the symptoms, memory loss, people forget things, confusion, people get muddled up with days and dates, they go shopping and they come back with the wrong things, or they repeatedly buy the same things, asking the same question repeatedly. Now that's a little bit difficult because if you've been married a long time, there's a kind of filter that filters out everything your partner says. It happens with my husband. Every time he speaks, I kind of filter it out. But it gets a bit beyond that. People really do keep asking the same questions. People get lost, sometimes in their cars or sometimes when they're out walking. And they become unable to do things that they could do before. So this doesn't mean if you get a new remote control and you can't work it, don't worry. If you get a new mobile phone and you can't work it, don't worry. But if you've been able to work the remote control for a long time and then you can't, then that is often the first sign of trouble. And other activities, shopping I mentioned, and cooking. So people who cook for years and years and they'll have favourite recipes, they suddenly find that they can't remember the recipe. These are very subtle sort of early signs that you get. How common is it? Reggie sent me some figures for Great Yarmouth. The number of people thought to have dementia will be 3,560, and 2,233 of those have got a diagnosis. So that means about 2/3 of people with dementia have got a diagnosis, and that's fairly typical. Over the last 10 years, there's been a big drive from the government to increase the rates of diagnosis, and their aim is about 2/3. So obviously, really nice to have 100%, but you're more or less where everybody else is. There are actually quite a lot of different types of dementia, but the commonest is Alzheimer's disease. That's the one you see most often. And the second most common is vascular dementia, where the blood supply to the brain has been damaged in some way and you get little bits of brain damage. You can have both types, and then you'll be given a diagnosis of mixed dementia, Alzheimer's and vascular. And then there are quite a lot of other rarer causes as well, but Alzheimer's is the one we see most of, followed by vascular. So how's dementia diagnosed? If you think you've got dementia, you go to the doctor. They'll kind of ask you a few questions. Different GPs do different things, but you then will be referred probably to a memory clinic or to a psychiatrist. They will take a history, and that's really a chat about your life. And also they ask things about your medical history, what medical problems you have, what medication you're on, if you've ever had any psychiatric problems in the past. So it'll be quite a sort of thorough chat with you. And while that's going on, it's usually pretty easy to tell whether people have got dementia or not. So for example, if people don't know how many children they've got, that's obviously quite a worrying sign. Then you'll get a range of blood tests because there are quite a lot of physical illnesses that can cause dementia, so those all get checked out. Thyroid particularly, so if your thyroid gland doesn't work properly, that can cause dementia. That's easily treatable with thyroxine, so we always look for that. And other physical illnesses can make it worse. So if you're anemic or you have a bladder infection, anything like that, it can make it worse. So we do quite a big sort of physical screen. Then you would have a test of your mental abilities. Different doctors use different tests. They tend to involve things like drawing a clock face. I mean, if there's one test for dementia, if you can draw a clock face and put the time on correctly, then that's a really good sign. You'll normally be given some sort of memory test, words to remember, possibly mental arithmetic. So the various different tests usually just take about 10 minutes. And then if the doctor who sees you or the nurse who sees you thinks there is a problem, you would then have a brain scan, which is to look at the type of dementia. So if you have vascular dementia, there's areas of vascular damage that will show up on the scan. Alzheimer's sometimes shows up on the scan, but not always. So I see people with really quite severe dementia and normal CT scans. So it's kind of part of the picture. There isn't an absolute diagnosis for Alzheimer's at the moment. People are working quite hard on it. There isn't an absolute diagnosis. The only way you can be completely sure would be to do a brain biopsy, which obviously there's no way we would be biopsying people's brains. They wouldn't be the better for it. So, is there any medical treatment for Alzheimer's? Yes, there is. There's medication. There's 4 different types of medication. They're not miracle drugs. They're not a cure. But having given them to thousands of people over a long time, they do make a difference. In most people, they slow down the disease progression. Some lucky people actually improve on them, but I don't see that very often. But they definitely slow it down. So they are worth taking. And there are also drugs which help to stop vascular dementia getting anywhere. So there's the same drugs that we'd use to treat hypertension and too much cholesterol, but they do help. So there is treatment. So there's no cure, but there is treatment that can possibly improve things and can definitely slow it down. I'm going to move the clickers. They just don't like me. Can you click it from the back or? That's it. Any other treatments? So physical exercise has been shown to help. That sort of slows down deterioration. The last bit of research I saw, it was 40 minutes brisk walking 3 times a week, and that did seem to make a difference. So physical exercise, the more you can do, the better. But that amount seemed to help. Healthy lifestyle, particularly vascular dementia. Vascular dementia quite often occurs in people who smoke because smoking damages your blood vessels. You can give up smoking, that's really helpful. A healthy diet and an active mind. It has been shown both that an active mind helps to ward off dementia and that it helps to stop deterioration when you've got it. And that can be anything really. It can be crosswords, it can be puzzles, singing, other sorts of music, reading the newspaper and talking about it. Anything that kind of stimulates your mind is helpful. At that time. Any other benefits from having a diagnosis apart from the medication and the changes in lifestyle? Well, it does help you to plan for the future. So you can make, I mean probably everybody should do this anyway, but people don't tend to get around to it. You can make a power of attorney, and you can make a power of attorney for your financial affairs. So you can name somebody in your family, it usually goes down a generation, who will manage your finances for you if you become unable to. And you can also have a power of attorney for health and welfare, and you can talk to them about what you would want if you've got it in different ways. So you can put those things in place. Lots of people with dementia never become incapable of managing their affairs. It doesn't necessarily happen, but it's good to have it there anyway. And financial, there are some benefits if you have a diagnosis of dementia. Obviously it depends on how severely ill you are, but you may well be eligible for the attendance allowance and also for council tax reduction. And it does cost a bit of extra money having dementia, so it's good if you can get some help towards that. So one of the big questions with dementia is driving, and I know that there are some people who avoid a diagnosis because they're worried about driving. So you can drive if you've got a diagnosis of dementia. Obviously it depends how severe it is, but you can continue to drive. You have to tell the DVLA, it's a legal requirement, you tell the DVA and you tell your insurance company. I've never known anyone have to pay any more for their insurance after telling the insurance. I think insurance companies quite like it because it means that somebody's keeping an eye on you. And then your doctor will be asked to complete a report, and they're asked various questions about how bad it is, and also directly about the driving, and that information just comes from someone else. So sometimes I have to say, no, I don't know anything about the driving, but usually I'll try and find out from somebody's husband or wife how their driving is, which can be a bit awkward. So I've had situations where I sort of said to someone's wife, how's this driving? And she goes, oh, it's fine, and then he turns away and she goes, and sometimes bring them off, so it can be a bit tricky. People with dementia want to carry on driving, everybody wants their independence. Around here, we were talking, to give me a lift, we were talking about it would be very difficult to manage without a car around here. But in the end, if you're not safe, you don't want to be driving because you could hurt yourself or you could hurt somebody else. And it is possible to have a driving assessment. So sometimes it's really clear that people are fine, sometimes it's really clear that they're not fine. But if they're somewhere on the borderline, it's possible to have a driving test, a particular sort of driving test that will look at that. And then what they normally do is issue people with a licence for either 1 year or 3 years, and somebody keeps an eye on them. What help is there for carers? I sometimes think that the dementia is actually worse for the carers than the person who has the illness. It is very, very difficult looking after somebody with dementia. So there is help for carers. That can be accessed through your GP, through local medical social services, or through the Alzheimer's Society. And I had a look on their website. I think they have quite a lot of activity around here, don't they? I saw that they have a base in Great Yarmouth. There are carers groups that you can go to for support. There are usually carers training groups where they'll kind of give you some ideas about how to manage somebody looking after somebody with dementia. There are dementia cafes. Now those are for the person with dementia and the carer. They're very informal, but you can go and meet other people and have a cup of tea and a bit of social activity. And respite can be arranged, which is where somebody else helps care for a bit. So somebody can come in and sit in your house for a bit, or a person with dementia might go to a day centre, or there are residential homes where people can go for a week or two, just to give you a break. And I want to just mention this Dementia Guide. This is produced by the Alzheimer's Society. It's actually, it's a book, it's really thick. Thanks to me, it's indexed. That's been one of my massive contributions to the society. I went on and on and on at them until they indexed it, because it wasn't initially. It's a big book. It's not something you would read from cover to cover, but it's something that you would have and you would dip into it as you wanted to look things up. It's completely free. You can order it from their website. I mean, actually, if people are interested, because you're a healthcare professional, you could order 25 and then you put them in the church. They're really good. Or you can phone that number and they will send you out a copy. So what does the future hold? Sometimes people think getting a diagnosis of dementia is the end of everything. Well, it isn't. Everybody is different. Yes, some people do get worse and worse, but some people don't. And having, over the years, I must have literally looked after thousands of people with dementia. I've seen everything, including people who couldn't take the tablets, because some people just don't get on with the tablets, getting better, so that if they're on the tablets, I would say, oh, the tablets are really helping. So you don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything's just going to get worse and worse. And my advice to anyone who gets a diagnosis of dementia would be, put your affairs in order, so with the power of attorney, and then get on with your life, because actually none of us know what the future holds. Thank you. So that's a really quick rush through, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Wendy. We start with the first question from you.
Thank you, Wendy, for that information. Can you say at all whether the outlook for people suffering from this horrible state, there is a medical breakthrough coming, or is it something that the population is going to get worse and more Alzheimer's diagnosis will be done? But you know, there's so much breakthrough in many other medical fields. Yes. Is there in this field?
There will be a breakthrough, but I don't know how quick it's going to come. They're doing a lot of work in America. There's 200 different drugs and various stages of development, but there's nothing that looks like it's going to be out in the next few years. And of course, we still don't know what the cause is. We really have no idea what the cause is. Like all illnesses, it's probably an interaction between your genes and your environment, but we don't know what that interaction is yet. So there will be a breakthrough, but I can't tell you when. there, and then there's somebody in the front afterwards, Reggie.
Thank you. Yeah, you mentioned right at the beginning two things as a differential between those with dementia and those diagnosed with dementia, and something about 67% diagnosed.
Yes.
If they haven't been diagnosed, how are those with dementia not dementia? You understand what I'm saying?
This is just worked out from population studies, so this is from when people have done research looking at whole population, and then they estimate that that many people should have dementia. So you're right, we don't really know.
Oh, so it's the first figure is estimated figure.
Yes,
The second one's a more factual
Yes,
item.
yeah.
Thank you. That clears up.
There's one in the front. Bring you the microphone.
I've reached the age where I do have memory loss, and I've noticed several of my friends have similar problems. Is that something I should take seriously, or is that just an age-related thing?
Well, your memory, like everything else, does deteriorate as you get older. Do you have a wife?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, because that's probably the person that you can't remember. or children, somebody close to you is probably the person to ask. And also watch out for the things I said, like I don't know if you have a TV remote control or...
Yeah, it's really the only thing I'm terrible with names, places, things.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. If you more or less know what day and what time it is, if you can more or less do the things that you've always been doing, then probably don't worry. But ask your friends and relatives to keep an eye on you. Because people don't always realise themselves. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
No.
Martin is a member of the Village Voice.
I can do that, I can test at the end if you want.
Yes, I'll come to you, Dr. Krishnan.
I heard somebody tell me that the fact that people get older and they're given more drugs, sometimes that brings dementia forward slightly. How true is that?
The drugs, giving people more, you're right, giving people
Drugs
drugs...
for other illnesses, but it has an effect
Yes,
on
yeah. It won't cause dementia, but it can make it worse. So there are quite a lot of drugs that have a side effect of making memory worse, and that's one of the things that we look at. So when we first assess somebody, we always look at all the drugs they're on. Now, sometimes you can't stop something. Sometimes you know something's likely to make their memory worse, but they actually need it. Sometimes you can try them without. The drugs for allergies, the things that you can just buy, like Piritis, they're not very good for your memory. So that's one thing that sometimes you'll get people who've been taking something like Piritis because they think they might be allergic to something without really trying off it. So I quite often try and get people to stop that. We do look at that.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Krishnan. I'm a consultant psychiatrist. I work with people with learning disabilities. I'm sure you will remember me because I'm the one who keep taking your videos wherever I see you. First of all, before I ask the question, I must congratulate Dr. Alexander for having brought you here to this village hall, to Yorman. And also many thanks for coming to this sort of audience and giving us a talk. It's unheard of, President of Royal College of Psychiatry coming to a place like this and giving us a talk. I'm delighted. My question is, as you can see, most of us are about 50, 60 here, and you are a specialist in dementia diagnosis and management. If you would say, what is the most important or the top of the list activity, whether medication or activity or whatever it is, to postpone dementia? Can you answer that? Only one response. Which activity would you say is kind of a guarantee?
One thing to protect you, do you mean?
Yes, thank you.
Be mentally active. Be mentally active. That's probably even above medication. So, keep yourself involved in things, keep your mind active, do things.
My wife has been diagnosed with Lewy bodies dementia.
Right.
Could you tell me really what the difference is between that and normal dementia? I mean, we're caring for her at home, and
Yes. Yeah.
she's in a very bad way at the moment. She's very restricted in her movements. She can't get about without being in a chair. Her voice has gone very quiet. She mumbles, she chatters. She has had a stroke. According to the neurologist, she's had a stroke.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of wondering where we are with it. Will the Lewy bodies
you can't tell what's going to happen. I mean, Lewy body dementia is just a slightly different kind of damaging process that goes on in the brain, and it's a bit different how people are, but not much different. The drugs sometimes work, but not as well as in Alzheimer's. It's still worth trying them. There are certain drugs that you really need to avoid, but your doctor will know that. Otherwise, there isn't a lot of treatment. But again, what the future holds, I can't really tell you.